ghostbag.com. And thanks again to Chep Derp for helping out back there in the video department. If you listen to us on iHeartRadio from outside Ohio, tell me where you do that, because I like to know where you're listening. Andy is one of our bureau chiefs in Atlanta. Charlie listens in Martin, Kentucky. Jason's in Charlotte. And who's somebody brand new? Rick, RC, listens in Marshall, Michigan. You can always leave us messages there, too.
The ghost bag stuff is played out, bud. Everybody.
This is like that chode from Philly or something, right? He's like, hey, my God. I think that's who this is.
The ghost bag stuff is played out, bud. Everybody knows that's Keith Kennedy. Keith Kennedy is the one talking there. Man, you have got to get some new stuff. When Mary leaves, it just goes to crap. The only time it's funny is when she's on there. You need more content. Your content sucks.
Okay, so Keith Kennedy has been outed as Ghost Bag. Keith Kennedy, your thoughts?
Oh, that guy is clearly the president of my fan club. Can I be honest?
My God!
His voice sounded familiar, actually.
Oh, maybe he's a Keith Kennedy. I mean, people know Keith Kennedy around these parts, but that's kind of a deep dive.
So, there's one, I will tell you, there's one guy in particular that cannot stand me.
Yeah.
And
is it that guy? Does he sound like a...
Boy, I don't think so, because he was actually more coherent than some of the stuff this other guy is saying.
Okay.
But it's possible.
Well, maybe in the morning when you're on, he's not all the way there yet, and then we wake him up with rage using Ghost Bag.
Well, but
I guess if you were Ghost Bag, then you're tying into this.
The guy that hates me, though, like, he would find out a station I was programming and would send them messages like, Keith is the worst. He's ruined this station. He's been there for a whole day.
Isn't that amazing, though, weird, that people will zero in on... So, just to be clear, would you like to admit that you are, in fact, Ghost Bag?
I would say no. I don't want to admit that that's me, because that's not me. I love Ghost Bag, though.
Just do the Ghost Bag voice.
I disagree with that
Let's
guy.
hear the Ghost Bag voice.
He says one of the most entertaining things on the show.
Well,
not according to this guy.
Not according to that guy.
Yeah.
I suck. Mary's great. Oh, dude, you know. You go there, bro. Here, hold on. Just to be sure. Just to be sure.
Wait, I'll put the camera on Keith, and then Ghost Bag can call in.
Just to be sure.
So the camera's on Keith now. Oh, wait.
Hello, Alan.
Oh, is this Ghost Bag?
It's his cousin.
Oh.
Yes.
His cousin. What's his cousin's name?
Eric. I didn't have a very clever ghost name. You put me on the spot.
Eric. Yeah, well.
I used to work with Cody at Z88.
Hey, how about that?
Join the club.
We would do a show together and then hang out at the Inner Belt.
Hey, okay. Yeah, I do remember this dude.
He goes, I used to work with Cody, and Cody goes, join the club. He used to work with himself.
I can't wait till you used to work with Cody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, we all look forward to the day where our stories are. I used to work with Cody. All right, so Keith Kennedy is not, in fact, Ghost Bag. All right.
Although
that's just what we want that guy to think, by the way. That you're not Ghost Bag. All right, anyway, I thought that was an interesting take from that.
That's all you needed from me is to admit? Okay.
I thought that was an interesting take from that guy. We don't get calls and messages every day from people going, hey, what's Keith Kennedy up to?
Do you have any stories about your sisters making you upset? Because that's what this guy seems to be into. Or how your boyfriend...
His sisters?
Well, because that guy likes Mary so much.
Oh, I see.
So Mary, you know...
I don't have a great relationship with my sister. Thanks for bringing that up on International Women's Day.
Neither does she. Can you also tell the customers that you hate them? That's also something Mary
I see.
does.
Acting as a proxy,
yes,
Mary.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Right. All right.
I could never be a proxy for Mary. Sorry.
I just wanted you to. I wanted you to convey that to everybody.
Yeah, it is not me. I have my suspicions of who Ghost Bag is.
Yeah,
but it's not me.
All right.
Can somebody tell me so I
No.
can call the police?
No. All right, thank you.
Sure.
There's Keith Kennedy, our benevolent overlord here at Unplug. Oh, he did unplug.
He knows how to do.
No, I know. It's just
unpluggings.
some people, they forget. They get in the moment and they forget.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to listen. I don't like there to be any rumor. I don't like there to be any salacious speculation out there. And that guy seemed pretty convinced. But if you ever hear Eric,
What a random person
Eric
to think
goes,
it's-
well, that's what I'm saying. I was like, maybe Keith Kennedy is. Maybe he is. And he's not telling us. He is a man of many talents, He does his own show in the morning. He is the benevolent overlord here at iHeart Cleveland. And, between Keith Kennedy and Keith Hotchkiss, you get the 1-2 punch of Keiths here. Our buddy Roman, by the way, the guy who has made us some amazing gifts over the years. He's made us a lot of these ceramic gifts, right? Coasters and things.
Yeah, I've used them just this past holiday.
If you follow him on social media, because he texted me, he goes, hey, I'd like mobile bureau chief status because I'm driving to Montana or something. Did you see any of his posts?
Yeah.
His front driver's side wheel flew off his car, and so it was on a lift, and he's like, well, this sucks.
Oh, my God.
He was doing about 60 in Montana, and now he's holed up in Big Timber for the week. So he's going to remain mobile a little bit longer than he had anticipated, I guess.
Dude, that's stuff that, my anxiety is,
That's why you'll never cross country in a...
I just don't know what I would do in that instance where you're in a big-ass state miles away from any civilization, and then you're like, well, I guess I'll call AAA. I don't know how to change a tire. When I popped my tire the other day,
this was a
AAA.
tire flying off the car,
This is
and
a flat tire.
It broke a back window because it bounced or something.
Things that are nightmares are made of.
That's a serious situation.
I guess I didn't get the full detail from the photo because I did see the photo, but I guess I didn't ask. What is the context of that? How did he not inspect his vehicle beforehand, or was it a rental, or what?
I believe it's a rental.
Oh, it is a rental.
Right.
I thought it was his car.
I don't think he drove all the
I don't
way to the West
some
Coast
people
from.
do.
I mean, he could have, but I'm pretty
don't
sure
know.
it's a rental van.
I thought he was just going to Montana. I didn't think he broke down in Montana.
That is the worst case scenario, man.
Well, the worst case scenario is when, I don't know.
Aliens are trailing you. You're trying to get away from something.
The worst case scenario is when you have to call your girlfriend who has very seriously dumped you and ask her dad to come out and pick you up. I was still making, when I first moved to Kalamazoo, Michigan, my first full-time job in radio. I moved from Chicago to Kalamazoo, Michigan. I didn't have much crap. My dad had bought me a car. I didn't have a car in Chicago. My dad had bought me a car so I'd be able to get around in Kalamazoo. It's my first full-time gig. I'm moving there. I'm making $17,500 a year. My dad bought me an 84 Cutlass, right? Just to get around in. I don't know anything about cars. So I don't know that I was really diligent in putting oil into it. And so the first couple of months that I lived in Kalamazoo, I was going home a lot. It was a couple-hour trip straight down 94. Kalamazoo, Michigan is literally equidistant between Chicago and Detroit on 94. So it's a big, drug trafficking route and a whole big thing there. College town, whatever. So for the first couple of months, I was, I guess, the equivalent of homesick. I wasn't really going to see my family all that often, but I was going to see my friends. And on one of my return trips from Chicago to Kalamazoo, I had to be on the air that Monday, so this probably would have been a Sunday night. About halfway down the highway, halfway down the trip, my car, I throw a rod in my car. For people who know what that is, it shoots through the hood of my car. Now, if it had gone in a different direction, it could have gone through me into the cabin of the car. Who knows? Whatever happened with this car, I'm in the middle of nowhere. And this wasn't like cell phone times. So I had to wait for somebody to pull over and take me to a rest stop where there was a payphone, and I had to call my girlfriend.
Collect.
Well, I think I had money for a call. You know, back then you had phone cards and things like that.
Okay.
I had to call my girlfriend and ask her, I don't know where my parents were. I think it was, I didn't want my parents knowing what happened because it were reflected on me. My dad bought me this car. It would have reflected poorly on me. My car is completely broken down in the middle of the night. It was like midnight. I had to, my now ex-girlfriend's dad.
So you weren't with her at the time?
No.
That's crazy.
She's back home in Chicago.
Freshly broken up, or like was this like you were broken up for like some months?
We were broken up for probably like 2 months.
Oh wow. She's like, who's this creep calling me from jail?
Hey, you up?
Right?
What is this, a booty call? Actually, no, I need your dad to come pick me up.
I had to have her, and again, trying to replay it in my mind, I'm not sure why I need it. You know, anyway, I had to get to, I think it was because I needed him to pay for it. I don't remember what it was, but it was unbelievably humiliating. And so her dad drives from the Chicago suburbs to where I am in like Indiana and helps me take care of the thing. Oh, it was just, so when you're talking worst case scenario on the road, nowadays there's Venmo, there's cell phones, there's, you know.
Hey, there's apps so you can, like most insurances have roadside assistance.
Know exactly where you are.
AAA has roadside assistance.
You can go on your phone and it will tell you where you are. I mean, this was like, you know, summer of 95, fall of 95. Just awful, terrible, awful. Yeah, she had very specifically broken up with me. She thought I was wasting my time with stand-up and radio.
Well, you've shown her since then.
Gone on to become a millionaire. Like, I'll show you, bitch.
Right. She's fine. She's like a corporate lawyer. I mean, you know, the whole bit. So, but yeah, when you're on the road and something serious happens with your car, it sucks. When you have no money, don't know where you are, you know, you just trying, it blows. So I feel for him being out there.
Yeah, I never had any breakdown. I mean, I when I started driving, we had cell phones, so I never had that situation. Like I got lost a bunch of times because I was using printed out MapQuest directions. I had my car break down a million times when I was doing the road, but I never had a situation like that where I had to get a ride to a gas station to call someone on a, you know, payphone.
Yeah.
That's another level.
When I helped my friend move from Ohio to Arizona, like she did not let me drive any of the drive to Arizona, but once she got her car, she was like, all right, now you can drive this truck back. She's like, you could drive the truck back to my apartment. Can you handle that? And I'm like, sure. And the very first time, I don't know what it was with that place in Tempe, but there's like an overpass that said no trucks, and it literally gave you like the length. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, can I make this? I'm like,
the what? It gave you the what?
The height. I'm sorry, not the length. The height. It gave you the height of the overpass.
Your car is too long for this overpass.
And I'm like, I hope this, because I was like, I don't want to ruin this. She gave me one job.
Is this like a U-Haul?
It's a U-Haul.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, it's not like a pickup truck.
But
obviously, you're going to make it under.
It's like a drive-through overhang will screw you in a U-Haul, too, if you forget where you are.
Yeah, it was a big U-Haul. I was like, I'm not from around here. I don't know. I just drove this truck, man. Like, I don't know how tall this truck is. So I'm
What does not being from around here have to do with the height of the truck?
Because I didn't know how high the overpass was. Like,
but it tells you. There's a sign.
Yes, but if you don't know the size of the truck, then you don't know if you can make it underneath.
But what does that have to do with I'm not from around here?
Because I could have taken another route had I known that there was a short overpass. Because I was like, now I have to reroute myself because I didn't want to take the risk. I'm like waiting in line to go under this stupid bridge. Like it's Arizona traffic. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So now I had to find an exit. She's like, "Where are you going? You're rerouting." I'm like, "Bitch, you sent me on a route where there's a short, there's a low overpass." She's
You
like,
just let a little air out of the tires and you can get under the overpass.
Because it would be me. I'm on the news. My mom's worried about me. She's like, "Don't be wilding in another state where I can't come and get you." And then, man drives U-Haul underneath short overpass. What was he thinking?
That's the headline. Man drives under short overpass. It's not the overpass that was short. The truck was too tall.
Ugh. I just didn't want to be on the news.
Mom, I need help.
Mom, nobody wants to see that cop. We'll get the tickets.
I like that he's not worried about damaging the truck or anything. He just didn't want to be embarrassed.
I don't want to be. Shame is like
because he's nervous about every step he takes. He's nervous. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. He walks around worried something's going to happen, and invariably, because it's the world and it's life, something will.
Something happens.
Yeah. Alan, when you said 84 Cutlass, I immediately thought catastrophic engine failure. Yeah. I had a crap brown 84 Cutlass. Called it the Gutless Cutlass.
I have a cousin named Crap Brown.
Maybe he's Ghost Bag.
What up, Crap?
What up, Crap?
See him at every funeral. Crap Brown.
Crap.
Yeah,
Little redundant.
Listening to your whale bits from yesterday, and just for the sake of accuracy, I'm pretty sure that Jaws was a ripoff of Orca, and that's why the boat was named Orca in Jaws, to give homage to the original. Peace.
That is not true at all. But thank you for the call. We were talking about the movie Orca. Mary's whale watching there in Hawaii. I was talking about the movie Orca. Orca was a couple years after Jaws. Jaws was a blockbuster. It was the highest grossing film of all time until Star Wars, which came out a couple years later. So Jaws was 1975 or 6. And Orca came out after that. The only reason that, because we were like, why was a boat called the Orca in Jaws? Because they literally bought, Spielberg was kind of flying by the seat of his pants. They had bought a fishing boat from a guy. It was called the Orca. So that boat was actually called the Orca, and they bought it because they needed a boat.
And they just left it.
Yeah, they just left it. It was a lobster boat there. They were shooting like in Massachusetts or something. And so the boat was just literally a guy's boat that they shot it in. But I mean, Jaws, I remember years ago they showed Jaws at Playhouse Square and we went to go see it. And it was so good because I'd never seen it on the big screen. It was dynamite. But I mean, it cost $9 million to make Jaws, and it made like $200 million. It was unheard of in the 70s. A couple of years later, that movie Orca came out, which I didn't hate. I remember seeing Orca on like the early days of HBO. They aired it a lot. I mean, I think it probably broke even. I think it did okay. But people were like, well, this is just capitalizing on Jaws. And so it wasn't like they made a sequel or anything. Yeah, the boat in the movie was just called the Orca. Although Bo Derek gets her leg bitten off in Orca. That's kind of fun. It was before she kind of became a big deal. Your secondary person in that movie. Had the great Richard Harris in Orca. One of those hard-drinking, hard-living Irish actors. You like Peter O'Toole, Richard Harris, those old-school actors who just smoked and drank and, and then would go on set and kill it. They don't make them like that anymore. I got a break. Hey, Kill Switch.